Note: all characters, events, and spoken words in this story are fictional, and is not meant to target any specific audience. Feel free to stop reading at any time and read at your own risk. As Xiao Hua neared the palace squares where the reward ceremony was to take place, the ground began to shake as it seemed an earthquake was occurring. Many citizens were confused as earthquakes were rare as there were already technology to stabilize a planet before it was inhabited. Then, a scream resounded from the side. Glancing over, Xiao Hua saw the ground break open as an alien ant with black scales tunneled out of the ground. Not long after, multiple holes were made all over the palace squares as ants crawled out from all over before all glaring in Xiao Hua's direction. As the citizens began to panic and escape, Xiao Hua knew that the rewards ceremony would not be a peaceful one. The ant aliens gave a weird piercing screech before they all charged in Xiao Hua's direction. Some of them scurried towards the palace squares where the emperor was residing. Most of the patrolling mechas hollered, "Protect the emperor," before dashing off to protect the emperor, leaving Xiao Hua's group to fend for themselves. Unfortunately, all of the mechas in Xiao Hua's group had all their weapons removed because the capital did not allow anyone to carry weapons in fear of them assassinating the emperor. Hence the group of mechas were helpless in the face of the swarm of alien ants. They could only do their best in smashing the alien ants with their mecha's fist, but that required them to get close enough to smash them. This meant that the ants will be close enough to damage the mecha as well. Fortunately, Xiao Po's large mecha came in handy in such a situation as he leapt onto multiple alien ants and crushed them with his large mecha. Although the mechas could fly up to avoid the alien ants on the ground, there were also many alien ants with wings. These ants began to swarm the skies as they dived down from above to besiege the group of mechas. The group knew they would not last long at this rate, so they did their best to head over to the palace squares where the army with weapons had gathered. Fortunately, the spaceship which they came on flew in to support them with suppressing fire on most of the ants. Along with Xiao Po clearing the way, Xiao Hua's group gradually made it to the palace squares where there were still crowds of alien ants. At the palace squares, Xiao Hua saw a large group of mechas firing off in all directions as they surrounded a raised platform at the center of the palace squares. An old man sat calmly on a throne on the raised platform as a couple of ministers were panicking around him. It seemed that nothing will disturb the calm of the emperor as he sat there with prestige. However, the calm was broken not long after. The ground near the throne suddenly broke open as alien ants tunneled out of it. Before the mechas defending the emperor could react, one of the alien ants had grabbed the emperor and pulled him into the tunnel from where it came from. The soldiers panicked as they debated whether to fire into the hole or not, but they were afraid of harming the emperor even though they can't see the empire. Alas, most of the soldiers couldn't leave their defensive lines at the moment, or else the ministers who are still on the platform would perish to the alien ants. Although a couple mechas wanted to charge into the hole after the emperor, the alien ants crawling out of the hole stopped them in their tracks. It was then that the spaceship swooped in and provided suppressing fire. A metal container also dropped from the spaceship at this moment and it landed on the platform. It then opened up to reveal a pair of lightsabers, a plasma gun, and a multitude of plasma grenades. With a leap, General Sheng's mecha leapt over the defending mechas and landed next to the container on the platform. He swiftly grabbed his lightsabers, diced a couple of ant aliens blocking the hole, and leapt into the hole after the emperor. Xiao Hua showed up not long after with the plasma gun and grenades in her mecha's hands as she also leapt into the hole with no hesitation. The tunnel was dark and it headed straight downwards. With General Sheng clearing the way, Xiao Hua's journey was unimpeded. Not long after, the tunnel opened up to a large, dark cave where lots of shadows were crawling about. As the mechas landed, they lit up the cave with their lights, drawing the attention of all the alien ants in the surrounding. The ants began to swarm the two mechas. However, unlike before, the two mechas had weapons. Additionally, these alien ants were not as dense in number as the alien army during the war. Hence, it was fairly easy for the duo to break through the alien ants and storm down the tunnel after the emperor. Eventually, the duo reached the end of the tunnel where a single alien ant was waiting in another decent-sized cave. Xiao Hua was able to see the emperor still alive and well as he sat there calmly glaring at the large alien ant queen. The alien queen didn't seem to mind as it slowly got up from its position when it noticed General Sheng and Xiao Hua. Then, a loud wail was released from its mouth before it threw itself towards General Sheng. General Sheng reacted in time and slashed his saber at the alien ant queen, but to his surprise, the saber did not cause a single scratch on the alien ant queen's shell. With this shock, General Sheng decided to dodge, but he failed to dodge the ant queen's attack completely and one of the arms of the mecha was sliced off. General Sheng grunted in pain, but fortunately it was the mecha's arm instead of his real arm. However, Xiao Hua's heart still felt worried about him in addition to anger towards this ant that hurt Sheng. Xiao Hua then hollered to General Sheng, "Take the Emperor and go first. Let me handle this." Then, Xiao Hua shot her plasma gun at the alien ant queen's head. It dealt no damage but was sufficient for grabbing the alien's attention. Xiao Hua then declared, "I am the one you are looking for." Then, she had Xiao Mu displayed a recording of her sending the nuclear bomb into the star, resulting in a black hole. Props to Xiao Mu for secretly recording all of Xiao Hua's glorious moments. The Ant Queen then shrieked in fury as it charged over at Xiao Hua. Xiao Hua intelligently fled through a tunnel on the side leading downwards. General Sheng can only sigh as he firmly grabbed the Emperor and sped up the tunnel leading to the surface. Xiao Hua led the alien ant queen on a wild goose chase as she memorized her route. After a while, when Xiao Hua believed that General Sheng had brought the Emperor out safely, Xiao Hua set her plan in motion. The plasma grenades were all primed and stored inside the mecha's hidden compartments. Then, Xiao Hua had the mecha charge over at the alien ant queen. Although shocked that the escaping prey has now decided to fight, the alien ant queen was ecstatic as it opened its jaws wide to bite into the mecha. The two enemies collide, after which Xiao Hua controlled the mecha to hold onto the ant queen tightly before activating the mecha's self-destruct sequence. Afterwards, Xiao Hua ejected herself from the pilot seat through the back of the mecha where the jetpack was attached. Xiao Mu then activated the jetpack for Xiao Hua and she blasted off up the tunnel, leaving the alien ant queen tangled up with the self-destructing mecha. Although a self-destructing mecha is not as strong as a nuclear bomb, it definitely will cause a deadly explosion as it was built that way so soldiers can stall the alien army with their lives. Not long after Xiao Hua blasted off up the tunnel, a loud explosion rang from behind as glowing flames from the explosion began to sweep up the tunnel. Driving the jetpack, Xiao Hua rapidly navigated through the tunnels and up the tunnel to the surface. Dodging all the alien ants that came her way in the cave, she anxiously zoomed up straight up the tunnel that she came in through. Not long after, she popped out of the hole as she yelled in her loudest voice, "Clear the area." Although the soldiers were confused, they swiftly listened to Xiao Hua's commanding voice. Not long after, flames burst out of the hole as a small flaming mushroom cloud formed, serving as the fireworks to celebrate the elimination of the alien ant queen. The jetpack gradually ran out of fuel as Xiao Hua gradually glided down, landing in the palace squares near the Emperor. By this time, all of the alien ants were already cleared out as reinforcements had already arrived. The Emperor was calmly standing next to General Sheng as he surveyed the situation before sighing. The Emperor then glanced at Xiao Hua as he stated, "Simply look at the state of the city. Ruined buildings, holes that need to be patched, and explosions as fireworks." This Emperor truly did not expect a woman was able to do so much in the short time she was here. Xiao Hua could only scratch her head in embarrassment. Although it technically wasn't her fault, the alien ants did seem to be targeting her. Alas, you still did well in saving this Emperor's lives, along with the lives of the many citizens of this empire. It does not matter what gender you are born with, as with all you have done, you deserve this Emperor's bow, the Emperor continued before solemnly bowing in gratitude. With the events being broadcasted, the citizens all over the planets also bowed in gratitude towards their hero. An overwhelming feeling of euphoria flooded Xiao Hua's heart as she didn't know what to do. The Emperor finished his bow and stood upright once more. Then the Emperor calmly stated, "Even if you were to return to your home, for your efforts and the sake of the Empire's citizens, this Emperor would like to confer you the title of General Hua. In addition, you may choose a reward to your liking and this Emperor will fulfill it." Xiao Hua was a bit dizzy over the events, but she still calmly stated as she bowed slightly, "Your Highness, there is no rewards I would want more than the peace of the Federation." She then sneakily glanced over at General Sheng, who was calmly standing next to the Emperor in his white uniform while giving her a gentle smile. Xiao Hua couldn't help but smile back, but their two-person world was interrupted by a chuckle by the Emperor. "Ho ho ho, it seems this Emperor is getting in the way of the younger generation. Since you want that reward, then you must decide among yourself. This Emperor is getting too old to meddle in the relationships of the younger generation. Let this Emperor excuse himself." The Emperor then strolled away, leaving an embarrassed Xiao Hua along with General Sheng. General Sheng calmly walked up beside Xiao Hua and gently grabbed her hands. The duo then gently glanced at each other before facing the cheering citizens with a smile. That is the end of the story of General Hua.